One of the worst parts of the hero story, right
Looks
here.
Like we're heading toward the center of the base.
We're heading to my least favorite of Knuckles levels, the Death Chamber. Well, actually after playing this, I've started to realize that Meteor Herd really isn't that different from Mad Space.
We can find it, right, Knuckles?
But we'll get to that.
Why do I have to find the key?
We're counting on you, buddy.
Who else would find it?
Greatest treasure hunter.
And this is one of the only times in the entire franchise when Sonic is actually nice to Knuckles. I mean, Sonic barely ever compliments him at all. That's why I don't really find their friendship all that healthy, because Sonic and Knuckles are always being a dick to each other. And I guess that's supposed to be manly friendships and stuff, but still. Just like in Pyramid Cave, you've got the timed puzzles where you gotta hit the hourglass and then avoid having the door stop you. And they make it really obnoxious trying to get through this level. And I guess you can glide into enemies to defeat them, but I never really did that in SA1, so it's still kind of unintuitive that you had to glide into Chaos 2 to kill it. Yeah, see how obnoxious? Like, you can backtrack. Like, you might have to backtrack because all of a sudden the door blocked your path. And you're never told what that huge complex machine does. I hate this level. I hate how there are warp areas. It just kind of makes it confusing to go through. I do like how there are different colored sections of it. And so it makes it a little easier for the hints to tell you stuff and you know what they're trying to tell you. Like, if it says blue room, well, it's pretty obvious that it wants you to go to the blue part of the level. The problem is that the keys can still be found in really annoying places. I'm not really sure why Knuckles has a radar for the keys in universe, because he has a radar for the emeralds because he's the guardian of the Master Emerald, so he's got a sense for that sort of thing. Do the keys have emerald shards in them? Do the keys have chaos emerald shards in them? Not really, since all the chaos emeralds are with Eggman. Except for one, which is with Sonic. Another thing that I really hate about the treasure hunting levels is that they removed the blue level of the radar. Because in SA1, there was blue, green, yellow, and then red. This game doesn't have the blue part of it, so it takes longer to find the emerald pieces. And again, it's big open levels, and the radar doesn't detect all of them at once, because padding! They wanted to pad the game out. That's literally the only reason why the radar is so gimped in this game. And trying to climb up those walls is annoying when those guys are shooting at you and you're defenseless. And I also don't like the bats that obscure your view. I don't like the music of this place either. It doesn't really fit what it is, and the rap kind of sucks. And I'm going to be spending quite a bit of time in here. In fact, this entire video is mostly this level and then the horrible boss that comes after it. But we'll get to that. So thankfully I have a lot of trivia to cover because, seriously, I don't know how much longer I can keep talking about these treasure hunting levels. They're basically just the same thing. You spend a really long time exploring a level, going through places you've already been before, because the radar sucks. Remember how City Escape had a Planet of the Chaos billboard to it? Well, that billboard actually is a reference to Planet of the Apes. I know, crazy, right? I'm surprised I didn't figure that out until it was pointed to me. I never really watched Planet of the Apes. I'm pretty sure it's pretty different from King Kong, which is what I'm thinking of. And of course it's Planet Chaos, because it's Chaos from Sonic Adventure 1. I wonder what that movie would have been like. I never really saw the commercials for this game. Like, my dad got to me on a whim. I don't know if he saw any commercials for it. But there were a lot of crazy commercials for this game when it first came out in the Dreamcast. Like, there was this commercial that was basically two scientists in a lab coat, and they had these realistic looking hedgehogs with them. And it was all about good hedgehog, evil hedgehog. Because it was advertising the fact that you can play as Sonic or Shadow, which was a pretty unique concept that this game had, where you could play as the hero story or play as the dark story. And the scientists would lower a cow into the room of the evil hedgehog, and then the cow would just get torn apart. So it kind of portrayed Shadow as bloodthirsty, but it was the whole point. Like, if they had made it more obvious that he was a lot more in depth than just a pure evil hedgehog, then it would have kind of been a spoiler. And that cow being torn apart thing's actually a spoof of Jurassic Park, where the dinosaur consumes an entire cow. I never actually watched Jurassic Park, but there you go.
One more left.
How are you supposed to... Whatever. Egg Quarters can have some... Well, Egg Quarters is basically a clone of this level. Like, a lot of levels share different aesthetics. And I don't entirely mind that because it helps make the world... It helps make all the levels feel like they're part of the same world. And since the game doesn't have a hub world, that's kind of necessary to me. So I don't really mind the fact that they're recycling aesthetics, because there's so many different levels in this game. But my point is, Egg Quarters in this level can have some really annoying key placement. Like, I hate it when a key is right above a torch. And so you're trying to dig into the wall to get a key, or just get a key normally, and you can't because you keep getting hit by the torch. It's so cheap. And I hate digging for emerald shards in general. I'm gonna get that out of the way right now. This game introduced the concept of an exclamation mark that appears over your head when you're near something that you can dig. This is something that Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, the GameCube remake, made for it. But the problem is that the exclamation mark doesn't appear when you're in the exact spot that you need to dig. It appears when you're near the digging spot, but it doesn't appear at the exact spot that you need to dig. So you'll still spend forever digging constantly. They might as well not put the exclamation point in there at all.
I found him.
And that is such a cheap, annoying placement for a key. Like, really, it's right below an anvil that can fall on top of me.
Not
And
too bad.
7 minutes, and that's only a C. 7 minutes doesn't even get you an E. It's a C. The E is the lowest rank you can get.
Who's there?
I guess it makes sense because if you got an F rank, it would imply that you failed the mission,
Ghost?
and you can't really fail a mission unless you lose all your lives. And I hate this boss with every fiber of my being. First off, he makes some really annoying and repetitive sounds. Like, it gets to the point where I like to play the game with the volume on mute, because I just hate the annoying sounds that he makes. And second, it's so easy to not know what you're supposed to do for this fight. It's so arbitrary when you can glide into the ghost to get this to happen. Because sometimes you'll try to glide into the ghost, and what will happen is that the giant ghost will instantly turn around and instantly start running in the opposite direction. That is so cheap. Look, he just instantly runs around. You should not be able to turn around that instantly and start running in the direction opposite to where you were before that instantly. That's so cheap. It should at least stop briefly when it's turning around. What determines whether it just suddenly starts running? I mean, I love how fast Knuckles can run here. Like, that's something I haven't complimented yet. I love how fast Knuckles runs. Hackers have actually gotten Knuckles into City Escape, and he actually runs faster than Sonic. That's right, Knuckles is actually faster than Sonic. Because that makes sense. Although I do kind of like it because it's a really wide open area that Knuckles is usually in, so it's good for Knuckles to be running fast through it. It's just so annoying that it just perfectly demonstrates my point that Sonic is not fast enough in this game. And don't even bother trying to get a second hit on the ghost when he's really tiny, because he runs away from you so quickly, and even if you try to use ingenuity about it and start running the opposite direction so that you run into him, the game will punish you for your intelligence by just instantly making him turn around and start running the opposite way. Why do you get knocked back and why do you get knocked forward and start moving so quickly from being hit by the blue flames? And that's why I had to repeat an entire minute and 45 seconds of the boss battle just to get back to this point. The only way that you're allowed to jump, the only way that you're allowed to glide into the hourglass holding ghost without the giant ghost suddenly turning around and chasing after you like that, is that you have to wait for him to summon a huge wall of blue fire. But you can't just wait around, because you never know when he's going to be chasing you and when he isn't, because there's a wall blocking the way. So you never know when he's just standing still and when he isn't. It would have been so much better if the wall was transparent and you could see through it. And I really hate trying to dig to get him out of the floor. When he's in the wall, it's really not so bad. But when he's in the floor, I just hate how the camera's constantly spinning around when you're trying to walk towards him when he's under the ground. And so you try to dig him up, but it just doesn't work out for you. And you're gonna see that pretty soon. Why does this boss have to be so frustrating? Why can't you just always glide? Like, why can't you just always... Why do you have to wait for the wall of blue fire to appear and then he starts stopping? How are you supposed to know that that's what causes him to stop? And he does that, but that doesn't leave him vulnerable to attack or anything. So what's the point? Something I haven't mentioned yet is that if you air dash into the gun truck that's chasing you in City Escape, it'll actually bounce the gun truck back harmlessly. Like, it kind of ruins the tension of the action set piece, because it's not like you're going to die or anything if the truck catches up to you. You can actually air dash into it repeatedly, just knock it all the way back to the beginning of the section. But this section right here, fuck this section right here. The camera keeps spinning around, and the shadow is always moving. When you dive into the ground, you're stuck there for a few seconds. Like, I'm constantly trying to drill into the ground all fast-like and dig it up. But I just hate how the camera keeps spinning around. It makes it needlessly difficult to dig it up. I will compliment how Knuckles' dig works in this game, because in SC1 it was really annoying, and you had to press A and B at the exact same time, which was kind of finicky, and you can only do it while standing still. This game, digging is a lot faster because you just jump into the ground and then drill into it really fast, and I love that. But digging is also a lot more tedious in this game, because in SA1, when you dug for an emerald piece, generally the emerald piece was in the center of a circle of rings, or in Skydeck, you dug in the exact center of the digging areas. And so you knew exactly where to dig. It was only a Lost World where it was a problem. In this game, every level is Lost World. Every level, you're constantly digging over and over again, trying to dig up the emerald shard, because it could be anywhere. You don't know where it is. And see, there's a reason that I constantly keep having trouble with that. The camera constantly swings around and disorients you when you're trying to dig into the... Why do people like this boss? There are actually people who like this boss. Why? This is one of the most enraging boss fights in the game. I've been playing this for almost 6 minutes. No boss fight in a Sonic game should last 6 minutes. I mean, I like how his blue flames are all an eerie color because, you know, he's a ghost and stuff. And plus, blue fire is a lot hotter than red fire, so it makes him more of a threat, I guess. But It would be so much better if I could just have a free camera mode. And I completely lost track of the shadow for a little while. Bullshit! I very clearly dug into the ground where the shadow was, but oh, I ran out of time even though I was in the process of digging. Fuck you, game. Fuck you. And again, it really sucks how the boss is running away from you when it's small, and you can't go in for a second hit no matter what. You try to chase after it as fast as you can, accelerating to your top speed, but you just can't attack him no matter what. I think the rings in the boss arena respawn, so you don't have to worry about collecting all of the rings and not being able to get any more rings. But it's not like, why do you fly forward so fast and get a top speed when you get hit by those things? But yeah, I love how there's rings in the arena, but sometimes it's not like all of the floor is always shown, so you sometimes can't see the rings. God, finally! And at least it doesn't waste your time by running around the arena for a really long time this time.
What a hassle.
They actually have a recorded previous take of Knuckles' first line for seeing the boss. Yeah, seriously, fuck this boss. See you for the next part.